What's going on, YouTubers? It's your boy Buzz, and today I wanted to bring a video to you, not specifically to Destiny, which you see me playing right here on Crota's Raid, but more importantly, a question that a sub had asked me the other day, and it's, what do I expect of my games? And my games are, I assume what they were saying is games that I play, not, games that I own. And I wanted to bring the video to you and basically give you a little bit of insight into Buzz's brain. So what I look for in my games, what I expect of my games. Number one, I want entertainment value. Whatever it is, if it's just button mashing and slaughtering, or if it's, really thinking and having to solve puzzles, mazes, alchemy, things like that, I just want to be entertained. I play games as a release from everyday stress. And so when I get on it, I don't want to receive further stress because of an electronic gadget that I'm playing. All right, so that's the number one thing that I always look for in a game. Is it entertaining to me? And that's to me. I don't read all the hype. I don't read Game Informer. I mean, I do receive it as part of GameStop, but I don't put much value into other people's opinions as far as the games because they may not like it and I might like it. I may want to do repetitive if the gameplay is good, as you see me doing here on Destiny. It just, to me, it has to be entertaining. My number two criteria, the damn game needs to work right out of the box. I mean, I don't think I should have to actually mention this, but if you're going to spend millions of dollars as a developer to make, develop, test, produce, ship, and then hype up the game, then at least make the damn thing work right out of the box day one, i.e. what did not happen with Battlefield, a game that I got the season pass, got all the DLCs, and it didn't work for a very long time, and it still doesn't work all that well, in my opinion. Just make sure that the thing works. It doesn't crash. You don't have netcode issues, especially because almost all the games that I play are first-person shooter based and require some sort of netcode so you can play them online. My number three criteria, and this is just a personal thing to me, don't force me to go online into a multiplayer setting to either complete things or challenges in the game or to actually complete the campaign. I think this is ridiculous. Why do I have to go online to play a campaign? So if I want to do something like you see me here doing something for Crota, I have to be in an online setting. I have to set my party to private and things like that. And then I receive invites from people, hey, why don't you let me in? It's just, sometimes I just want to be alone. I just want to play. I don't want to have to communicate with people. I just want to hear things screaming as you see the thralls running all over the place. That's just me. Don't force me into an online setting to complete the campaign. Borderlands. Love the game. Hated the fact that I had to go online every single time I wanted to do something so that I could get it completed. I don't appreciate that. All right? And that's just my personal criteria. And then also, probably the final thing for me, and this is depending on what kind of mood that I'm in. What sort of level of engagement does the game demand of you? All right? Is it just a straight-up first-person shooter where it's just, you want to be a slaughter machine and just destroy everything? Sometimes I'm in the mood for that. Sometimes I just pop in Destiny and I go hit a couple bounties and go and just wreck the place. Maybe I'm in that kind of mood. Maybe I'm in the kind of mood where, a game that I spent a lot of hours playing, and unfortunately they didn't bring it to PS4, but on PS3 was Skyrim. Required a great deal of intelligence and thinking. Crafting, alchemy, building up your magicka, and mana, all those things required a lot of effort, a lot of time, but they also built a lot of intrinsic value into what you were doing on the game. You weren't just running around slaughtering things, and don't get me wrong, I like those sometimes, but it was a complete reversal of that. It required a lot of thought, a lot of forethought. You couldn't just run into situations and attack things unless you had glitched all sorts of stuff and had, level 1 million weapons or whatever. you couldn't just do those kind of things because it required forethought and thinking and planning, and I certainly really appreciated that out of Skyrim. Yeah, Skyrim crashed every now and then. You're like, well, Buzz, it didn't work out of the box. Yeah, it did work out of the box. It certainly worked out of the box. The issue with Skyrim is it was just pushing the PS3, which I played on, to its absolute computing limits. That game was so immersive, so expansive, that the PS3 just sometimes said, no mas, I can't handle this. And it would just freeze up, and you'd have to do, just a soft boot, and you were back into the game. But it was such a beautiful and rich environment when we played the game. Much like why I like playing Destiny. The graphics in this game are spot on. They're beautiful. The gameplay is very tight. Yes, it is repetitive. Yes, you're constantly doing the same things, but I don't play this as my full-time game. There's other things that I still play. I still dabble into BF4, and man, I want to give it a good heave-ho and just throw it right out the window sometimes because the net code on it is still atrocious. And, if you want to play the game, you're going to go online, you're going to compete in multiplayer, which is the core of what Battlefield is. Then it's got to have solid netcode. And there's still some issues where I'm running and some guy on a 1 bar is in front of me. He has no idea that I'm behind him, and I shoot him in the ass for, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 rounds, and none of it seems to register, and he turns around and bam, shoots me with some sort of handgun. One shot, kill. Still drives me nuts on that game, but I still want to give it a shot because at my core, of course with first-person shooters, I love the actual war style, the real, not this imaginary stuff that I'm doing here with Destiny. Don't get me wrong, Destiny fans. I know some of you are on the channel and you love watching me play Destiny, and I certainly like all the sci-fi stuff, but sometimes I just want to get down to the real nitty-gritty of, a grunt in his boots running around with an AK and, we're taking objectives. So those are what I find as my core values with my games. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, likes, comments, subs are loved. It's your boy Buzz. Peace out.